Hey everybody, welcome back to Xbox One Elite Dangerous Flight School with Commander Hoopchi. I want to take a moment tonight and talk just for a few minutes in this video about the changes that are present in the update that just happened in late May of 2016. If you're watching this video, I'm talking specifically about the update that's being called 1.6. It's the update that's to prepare for the Horizons and Engineers DLC that will come out on June the 3rd. And there have been a number of changes. You can read details about those changes on the Frontier website and look at the patch notes and see a lot of intricate details about what's happening. But I would just want to take a moment and run through some of the changes that you'll find not only on the main menu but also inside the game. Okay, Commanders, this is an addendum to my 1.6 update video because there was one major change in that update that I forgot to allude to. And I meant to do that when I was out in the menus, but I forgot to, and that's in terms of the controls. Man, they made some great changes in here. For one, it's all located on one page now. Provided you don't have all these flyout menus open, you can get to everything you want and find exactly what you're looking for very, very quickly. There are a few changes in here. One of the biggest changes that you'll want to look at is, I believe it's under mode switches. And initially, I'm sorry, it's not. It's under miscellaneous. Let me get back to that. Yeah. So, uh, most of the time, the Xbox One, when it first came out, you were able to hold the face buttons, the A, the X, the B, and the Y, in order to access contextual menus. When the 1.6 update dropped, those went away. A lot of people couldn't figure out how to do them, and that's because you need to come into this menu and enable context menu in order to be able to see those menus if you hold the face buttons instead of just tapping them. So if you're used to holding the face buttons, like a lot of times I would hold X in order to go to the target panel or to the systems panel or up to comms or down to the radar, you'll want to definitely enable that in this menu under enable context menu. It's also got a new thing here where you can show a screen center dot. I tried it, didn't like it, but you may want to kick it on and see if you like it or not. A number of other changes in here is you can basically completely remap everything in here. Obviously, when you map something, it's going to mess something else up. You're going to lose something, but you can come here and basically change everything and put it on a different button, change the way it operates, adjust. You can adjust so many different things in here that it's really cool. Now having the Elite controller and have had it for a while now, I kind of have everything set up sort of the way I wanted. So I didn't make a whole lot of changes in here, but I can see where a lot of these changes might have been, and will be beneficial to people just coming into the game or people that, uh, people just coming into the game or people that, are trying to learn how to fly it for the first time. So take a look through the menus and see if there's anything in there that you have any questions about. I'll be glad to help you out if you do. But it's really pretty straightforward how to change and adjust things, and you'll get the hang of it once you come in here and start playing around with it. And if you do have any questions, my tutorial videos on controls still mostly apply in terms of the general recommendations and things like that. There's not a whole lot of change in that regard, but this is a nice update that came through in 1.6 that'll make it easier for all of us in terms of getting the control systems that we want, at least until we get a nice flight stick that'll work on the One, which I'm hoping for with cross fingers. One of these days we'll get one that's actually designed for the One. I do have a video up on YouTube about how I was able to get a Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS working with Xbox, but it's not perfect, and even with a lot of trial and error, it's still not what I want it to be. It's not precise enough. It's not precise like the controller. It's got a lot of limitations. You can fly and you can You know, you can get around the galaxy, but it's not perfect. So I'm hoping that along the way somewhere somebody will go ahead and just make us a nice flight stick that we can use with this game on Xbox. But until then, you know, you've got this in order to change your controls and make your Xbox controller work the way you want it to. Okay, I'm going to insert this into my other video, probably toward the front, because a lot of people need to know about that contextual menu change. So here we go. We'll continue on with my other review and pointing out some changes in the 1.6 update for now. One of the first things you'll notice is we have another option here on the main menu, and that's friends and private groups. It's now possible to set up a private group that just you and your friends can join, and you will not be, you know, you won't have to worry about dealing with outside players. It'll be just you and your friends, which is kind of nice. You know, I use that a lot of times when I'm making videos now rather than solo play. Especially the next video I'm going to try to make is a wingmate video, and I'll be using that. If you go into it, you'll see that you know, it shows all your friends, and you can set up groups in here, and you can use right bumper to tap over and see which groups you're a part of. I currently have the group that I set up, that I created, called Hoopchi. 3 members, a lot of you know, people that I play with, you know, a lot of the time. These 2 guys right here. But anyway, that's you know, this just gives you a little overview of your group, the groups that you're a part of, and then other friends that you might want to invite to those groups. So it's kind of nice. Now, you don't join the game, your private group through here. You actually do that in the full game menu. So if you go to the full game menu, you'll see now we have another option called private group. And this is where you'll actually go to join in with your private group play. And let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll join Hoopchi, and I'll jump in here. You can see we've got a nice new loading screen back there with you know, a buggy down on the ground. We will be getting landings, being able to land on planetary surfaces in the Horizons DLC that'll come out on June 3rd. I'm really looking forward to that. Not sure how much it's going to impact the day-to-day, you know, play of the game. I know there are some things to do down on planetary surfaces that are going to be fun, and but I'm not sure, you know, overall how much that's going to change things. We'll see. You know, I know it's out on PC. I've not really played it on PC, even though I have the PC version of the game. So I'm going to be going into this brand new with everybody else that's on Xbox One when it drops on the June 3rd. But I'm sure I'm going to be looking forward to it. So now we're inside the game. Let's take a look at some of the things that have changed. And I want to go immediately to Starport Services. And one of the first things we'll look at is look at the new mission board. You'll see it's now called, instead of bulletin board, it's called mission board. I guess they want you to know where to go to get missions. You know, I guess some people were getting confused by that. I'm not sure. But anyway, if we go into the new mission board, you see, again, it's going to be a much, what I would term a much fuller, richer experience after the update. You have a number of opportunities usually to, over here on this side, on this left panel over here, to look at various missions that might be available. Now, obviously, right now, I don't have any available in this section, and I have had a few available here, and I've already done those, but I don't have any available right now. But one nice thing that they've added here is the opportunity to check out the community goals from right here. You can see I have it highlighted right now. If I press A, it's going to show me the community goals that are currently going on. The first one is bringing peace to Golibardu. I am signed up for that, and you can actually go on and check your progress right here inside this mission board, which is really nice. You used to have to do that over on the target panel, but now I can do it right here. And as you can see, I've earned, you know, 1.8 million credits. I'm in the top 25%. And right now, you know, if everything were to end right now, I'd get a cash reward of 4.5 million and global awards, whatever those might be. I'm imagining that tier, and you can see the tiers over there on the far right. We're currently halfway up tier 6. I'm going to guess that in the next 4 days, that's going to get somewhere between tier 8 and tier 9, maybe even up to tier 9, which would be nice. I'm going to keep bounty hunting in this area to try to keep myself in that top 25%. I'd like to get to the top 10%, but very difficult by myself. And one of the reasons why is one of the changes they made in the 1.6 update is the NPC characters are now for real. You know, if they're above, you know, noob level, you know, whatever that beginner level was, when you first get your Sidewinder, if they're master, dangerous, elite, or I've even had some lower level enemies give me problems in these bounty areas where it used to be you could just go in there and, you know, take out an anaconda, you know, an elite level anaconda. You could take him out, you know, if you stayed very careful and, you know, flew the right way and hit him the right way and target him the right way, you could take him down no problem. Now, forget it. If you don't have a wing and you don't have 3 or 4 guys and you're just flying a simple vulture bounty hunter like I have right now, you really don't have a chance against much of the ships that are larger than you. They have really buffed the NPCs, in my opinion, and made some of them even God mode. I'm hoping that they may consider backing that off a little bit. It's actually kind of disappointing right now to try to go into these areas and try to make mount bounties by yourself. Having to stick with picking on the Sidewinders and the Eagles and the Cobras and things like that in order to have a chance to survive. But I'm still in the top 25% and looking forward to those rewards once that gets there. But it's kind of nice to have this here. You can also see that there's an elsewhere one here. I haven't joined the morning after the night before at Skvortsov Orbital. Not ready to just fly over there yet. It's 160 or so light years from where I'm at right now, and my Vulture's not really kitted out for traveling halfway across this portion of the galaxy. So I may not do that one, but we'll see. But anyway, you'll also see that we get pictures now of the people that are giving us the missions, which is kind of nice. It just gives a little bit of a personal flair to it. You know, I'm not so sure how much that adds, but to me, it's a nice touch. You know, I like to be able to see that, but it also shows, you see the bar there. If you take a look at this, if you like drill down into this and press A, it even tells us who this person is. You know, this is Counselor Zeta Snyder. A little simple message, you know, from this person to me. It tells me a little bit in the top right-hand corner about the current state of the liberals of Golobardu. They're in a boom, pending state civil war, and it shows my reputation with that faction. I'm currently neutral with this person. On the other hand, if we go back and look at one of the other ones, and it'll take a moment to load up. I accidentally backed out using B when I should have just used my D-pad to go over, but it'll load back up. Let's take a look at, say, this one right here, Ross 163 Blue Dynamic Limited. This is Vice President Dora Lawson, and you know, I'm allied with this person, and I've done that by completing missions and by you know, doing, you know, various other things. So that's kind of nice. You also see, you know, there's some missions down here that have requirements, you know, that I haven't met yet, and you'll see right here, one of those is right here, requires planetary landing module. Let's go in and take a look at that. We need you to take care of someone for us. It's an LP 455-12, and good luck. These actions are, so it's an assassination mission, okay? And you know, I'm gonna have to go to this place, and it does require a planetary landing module, which we don't have access to until Horizons drops, so I can't accept that yet. But anyway, there's a lot of better information in here, and really, I really like the things that they've done to change the mission board to make it a little more personal, a little more interactive, a little more immersive, I guess you would say. And that's one of the things that Elite Dangerous, I think, has been lacking in many ways, is an immersion into the story and narrative of all these people that we fight for and against and with, and this is a nice touch. I think it could still go farther, and I think there's a lot more that they could do in that regard, but for now, I think that's good. Let's go back. We'll take a look at a couple of the other changes. The biggest other one that I want to talk about is right here in the terms of the outfitting. And you're going to see a multitude of changes in here, and I think these are all, almost all, for the better. As you can see, this entire menu has changed. So now in the outfitting menu over here, we have hardpoints, utility mounts, core internals, optional internals, and livery. We'll start with livery, just to kind of introduce you to it. And it's, you know, to me, it's much bigger, it's much easier to read, it's much simpler to deal with. You know, it was pretty tiny and really, you know, kind of PC-like. I think this is more, you know, Xbox-like, even though, you know, it's a major update that was dropped across PC and Xbox. But you come in here and, you know, now if I want to browse my paint jobs, you know, I have nice big pictures that I can look at that show me what my paint jobs look like, and then I can apply them from in here. Let's go back to the synth white paint job. You know, decals, you know, you can browse through those. It shows you a much bigger picture of what they look like. As you can see, this update also dropped the Xbox One GPP decal, which is only available to those of us who took part of the game preview program on Xbox One. I definitely did that. Come on, Xbox. Stop listening. Stop listening. Okay. So, you know, I think that's better. Let's go back and take a look at what's really, I think, a cool thing about the way they've changed this menu. And that's, let's look at hard points. And actually, let's look under utility. No, let's go to core internals. That'll be the best place to show you. And let's take a look at like power distributor, browse shop. So what this does is it opens up this menu over here that's like, you know, at first it's pretty confusing, but it's fairly straightforward. You've got all the information that you had on the last menu, but it's drawn out for you to show you how switching from, see, I currently have a 5A power distributor installed. Power draw is 0.74 megawatts. Boot time is 5 seconds. Weapons capacity 41 megawatts. Weapons recharge 4.3 megawatts per second. You know, you can go through and you can see all this stuff here. What this does is when you highlight one that you don't have installed that you're considering purchasing, it's going to show you how that's going to change your current setup. So see, the 1E power distributor, really the only benefit that 1E power distributor gives me is it's going to give me a power draw that's 56%, minus 56%, 0.32 megawatts instead of, I think it was 4 something. Yeah, you know, so what? You know, less power. Boot time is the same, that's why it's orange. But then you see we've got a huge drop off in terms of weapons capacity, weapons recharge, engine capacity, engine recharge, system capacity, and system recharge. So we got a nice, you know, less power draw, but at the, you know, at the detriment to everything else on our ship. And you can see if we scroll through these, it starts to get better and better and better. But you know, once you've got a 5A power distributor, you know, it doesn't get much better than that. Even if we go to the 4A power distributor, we're a lot closer. Now we're in the 21%, 18% range, minus 9% on the power draw. And there could be situations where you might, you know, opt to go with one of these other power distributors. Maybe you're having problem with power management and you haven't adjusted that properly. But in this case, this really gives you a nice visual of exactly what a different unit will do for you in terms of changing, you know, changing the way your ship is running. Now I can't apply any of these thrusters here because it's going to exceed my maximum mass. I currently have 5D thrusters installed. You know, if I were to go to one of these other, if I had the mass available for one of these others, though, you can see how they would affect and how they would improve, or in some cases detract. And that's what's really cool, I think, about this new menu system and using it. So, just same thing in the hard points. You know, if we go into the weapons and browse, you can see, you know, here this is kind of nice because now there's no, you know, going through name ascending and, you know, power draw descending and all that to try to find what you're looking for, and then sorting them alphabetically and finding them here. Whatever you want is just listed here in a nice box menu that you can drill down into and find. We've got rail guns, you know, for instance, if I want to compare, you know, I've currently got a pulse laser, a 3D pulse laser installed. If I wanted to look at maybe installing a 2B railgun instead, well, you can see that the power draw is going to definitely increase, which could cause me power management problems, but it's going to improve my damage per second. Of course, you got to hit, you know, rail guns, you know, they're kind of, you know, point and shoot and make sure you're aiming at the right spot. Close quarters or medium range weapons to me. But you know, you can see the improvements. You can kind of compare and contrast. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the changes. You know, most of the other changes you'll see as you go along. There hadn't been a whole lot of changes, you know, that I've really been able to notice in terms of, you know, anything out here, or, you know, in terms of, you know, this panel over here. Most of these are all sort of, you know, similar. They still kind of give you the same information in terms of what you need to know over here. So I haven't found a whole lot of changes there. And the biggest changes to me have been in terms of the mission board and the outfitting. And so that's a brief introduction to the changes in the 1.6 update that dropped late May of 2016. I hope you enjoyed that. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below. I'll try to get back to you if I can. And remember, Commanders, let's fly safe.